questions from Jayson Shilongo, and these questions pertain to the Erongo region.
Yeah.
I will just put them all together because they are similar in nature. He talks about IPC promised that Walvisbay will be a corrupt-free town. And Jayson is asking, what improvements have you brought about in Walvisbay in Erongo region? And then he's also asking, there was mismanagement of land and corruption in Walvisbay. What are your plans to get rid of that? And finally, he's asking, what strategies does IPC have in place to bring the smile to the face of people in the Erongo region that voted for us?
Everybody in Erongo region is still smiling. They brought that smile not only in Erongo region, but they brought the smile to themselves the moment they realized there's an alternative and that there is a voice of change. What we need to take into consideration is this: that IPC needed to create a structure, a framework through which the party's policies are implemented. But what happened is this: that IPC did not get the absolute mandate in Walvisbay to be able to act freely. It had to go into a coalition with other political parties to be able to exercise political power. What we did right at the beginning there is to create a system whereby we've got the chief whip, we've got the coalition caucus, we also have got the chief whip coordinator within IPC to be able to communicate with the national general secretary as to what is taking place there. The responsibility on the face of it is with our coalition partners and the IPC councillors in Walvisbay, working together, of course, with the political party IPC in Erongo region, with our commander Kangulu, guiding them in terms of the politics of what is taking place in Walvisbay. So far, Walvisbay has been able to get back an equivalent of 230 million from the information that I received of mismanagement in the local authority of Walvisbay alone. Of course, land has been taken back in Walvisbay, just as the same in Swakopmund, and just as the same in Usakos and Omaruru and Karibib, Hentis Bay, Arandes, which is one constituency, and that is ongoing. And at the same time, IPC leadership in Erongo has commenced a tour of all the local authorities to be able to communicate with our local authority councillors and our coalition partners as to what are the difficulties that they are encountering in order for us to provide solutions of how to go around. We have got 30 years of SWAPO having been in those councils, and what we have found in there as we went in is corruption throughout the council. Not a single one of the local authority councils has not experienced massive corruption over a period of time. Now, for us to clean up, we need to make sure that the administrative staff there are also clean. Whether it's the CEOs, whether it's the strategic executives in the various departments, whether it's the employees, the second phase level of the employees, we need to make sure that we clean it out. Now, cleaning out 30 years of corruption that benefited so many, including ministers, potentially also including other people that are now in the hierarchy of the government in Erongo, is going to be difficult. And we have to recognize the provisions of Article 8 of the Namibian Constitution, dignity, when we do this. We also need to recognize the provisions of Article 12, fair hearing, when we do this. Any investigation that is likely to infringe upon the dignity of an individual has to be taken into consideration and carefully conducted. There are people calling for all sorts of things, reports to be released, etc. There are processes. When an investigation is taking place, the company that carries out an investigation into the alleged corrupt practices in any one local authority does so in confidence. In other words, they have to conduct that not in the public arena, but conduct it in such a way they get the information. And it's up to the employees of the council to be honest, to provide the company seeking information in order to determine and evaluate how the conduct of the public funds has been carried out and public land has been carried out, to be able to advise the councils as to what to do. PWS has conducted investigations, and I believe they provided a draft of what they found. That draft still has to go and be signed and then be released as the official outcome of an investigation. Whilst that process is taking place, there are people demanding its dissemination in the public. And you know, we will all have our own ideas when we read that report. And those that are seeking political relevance will be going and bashing the councillors who just got into that office in 8 months. But they haven't done so in the last 30 years. So what we are trying to do and what we are doing definitely is to clean up the corrupt practices. As I said right at the beginning, corruption is the menace of our progress in this country. Is what is eating away in our funds, being given to a group of people to enrich themselves and their families, grabbing everything else that they want in order to secure security and the consumption that they have been doing in both properties, etc. So we have done quite a lot that a lot of people in Erongo need to be proud of, to say that we have achieved in a short period of time what we intended to do. Now we need also to understand that much of what we stated in our manifesto was stated in anticipation of absolute majority in those councils. Now, because we don't have absolute majority in those councils, and as I said again, that our actions in service delivery, including land delivery, is subject to objections from the minister, agreement with the minister, we are hamstringed into what we can achieve while we are in office. Our attempt is to be judged not from what we perform in the local authorities because of this relationship which is not synergic, but to judge us when you give us political power in 2024. Yes, you've done well. You voted us. We managed to get rid of the SWAPO administration, the corrupt nature of it. But when we are doing it, it's going to take us some time to clean up. The benefits that will become to the public in Tualoloka, in various DRCs, etc., is going to be taking a slow pace because of the bureaucracy in the SWAPO government administration. An administration led by IPC will be able to prioritize the needs of our people so that service delivery shall take place much faster. I was approached by a business person recently who said that they applied for land in 2017 in Windhoek. Same situations exist in the coast as well. And they were promised in 3 months' time they will be given an answer. And it's now 2021, that's 4 years nearly later. As yet, they have not received an answer. Administrative inefficiency is endemic in the SWAPO-run government, both local, regional, and central government. What we will be doing, and we are in the process of doing that, is eliminating that. But there are those who are constantly knocking at the doors of the local authority councillors, not anticipating the mechanisms involved in actually resolving all of this. All of them, some of them, are trying to make political relevance ignorant. Our IPC councillors are determined, without any coercion from any external forces. Whatever ridicule they come in, will respect their dignity. But we will be determined to be focused and have the conviction and principles to turn it around, to make sure that the people of Erongo benefit. We will soon be coming in your midst, and those who are close enough to the IPC functionaries in our branches and constituency branches, approach our branches and list your concerns. They will reach our office and will be able to feed back to our councillors so that we can generate change within you. Yes, there will be a smile, albeit you will not be able to count all the teeth in your mouth. Soon, surely, in 2024, and I'm emphasizing that because there are people who have been putting out some, what do you call this, tweeters, alleging that we are talking about 2029. Forget about that. People need to understand that propagandists will be there, trying to derail this train of convictions. We will not be derailed. We have got the convictions that your smile that we put on the face of the people of Erongo in 2020 will become even broader and you'll have a happier life at 2024 when we start running this government for the prosperity and the best interest of our people.
And that applies for the remaining 13 regions as well.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wonderful.
Not just Erongo. And thank you very much. It will apply to others. The whole wheels of clogging of the SWAPO administration is still trying to pull the levers or slowing us down. They are getting frustrated in that process as well. But there will be a time that they can only be accountable to those that has been elected.
Wonderful.